All right, here we are again. So today we're going to talk about the Fett offer 20 backs that were put out in the spring of '79, and we're going to go over the jillion variations, and these are all, again, this is the Fett offer stuff is a core part of my collection. Not only all the single different variants of the single mailers, but also the cardbacks and most things that relate to the Fett offer. So anyway, so we're going to just talk about the variable cardbacks and sort of, how many variants there are, what are the most common combinations that are out there, how we've proposed to change the classification of them, because one of the problems that has been around for quite a while is that the whether it's 12back.com, whether it's Kellerman, it's any of these classification systems, one of the things they have done is left out a large number of the combinations that exist. Now, of course, people will argue that they designated letters and such for the most common ones, but I would argue that that's, kind of not the case. But anyways, we're going to go over all that. And again, this is just another video highlighting some of the things in my collection, but hopefully with an educational flair so that those people that are staying at home, hopefully most of you, can learn a little bit and maybe develop questions that may help us reveal some other stuff that we didn't know. But anyways, so the first thing is what they put on the card front to designate that this was the first free mail-in offer. And so here you can see sort of the starburst with the free Boba Fett offer that was placed on the card fronts. This is just this was something that popped up on eBay not too long ago. I couldn't pass it up just because it was a good display of sort of everything that was revolving around the Fett offer. The first being one of the catalogs that was put out. These were basically, the Fett offer was created and stuff was put into print actually in August of the previous year in '78. This was just some of the layouts that they used, that they sent out to the different stores for what they would display. And so anyways, and this was just a bagged Fett along with some of the paperwork that came in the initial single mailer. But anyways, so that's kind of where it started. So, as most people know, that they did an initial run of Fett offers that were released somewhere. People will argue. People will say that, it wasn't until Toy Fair of '79 were the 20 backs released with the Fett offer. And that's kind of the going knowledge. And it also featured, of course, the second, the release of the second 8. There's a big debate on what's a true debut card, whether it's the 20 back C plus is what I call it, or was it indeed the 20B. I'm not going to get into the argument on any of that in this talk. But so what the initial card back, of course, looked like is this. This is the 20 back C. It's without any covering over the rocket firing mechanism. Now, of course, these were produced early. There was a short run of these because, of course, we all know that they got rid of the rocket firing mechanism due to several different things, whether it's safety testing, whether it's the whole Battlestar Galactica problem they were having with kids, so on and so forth. So anyways, they did have to cover up, because what they weren't going to do is they weren't going to, create a whole new card back. And so they figured that maybe a cheaper way of doing it was just to put stickers over the picture. And then that way that would hide the fact that there once was a rocket firing mechanism. Now there wasn't going to be. And so this being the initial release, this is what, we standardly call the 20C that everybody knows. Like I said, there's a few 20C collectors out there. How you doing, Evan, if you're there? Anyways, and so what did they do? The initial move to cover that up was, let's see, this is just another version of that. And on all of the advertisements in the promo catalogs, they use the Luke X-Wing as their sort of prototypical 20-back C type. So this is, of course, that starburst again on the front. But like I said, the initial cover-up was the good old black sticker, no information. Now, the interesting thing about this sticker is you notice that the corners of the sticker are rounded. Okay, and so that was the first version. So we ended up kind of trying to classify that as its own, meaning D for dark, or D for the next letter after C, or whatever you want to call it, D1 for a round one. Now, believe it or not, there were the same black stickers, but they had sharp edges. Now, when this came out in relation to the rounded black, I actually don't know. It is thought once they started producing the other stickers with sharp corners is that's actually when these came out. But that didn't make sense, because why would they make yellow and black? Why wouldn't they just make all yellow? So anyways, again, sort of a controversial moment in time in terms of, when did it really come out? But that was the second version. So we say this is a D2, meaning sharp corners. So once they finally developed some language to put on the stickers, they of course came out with the initial yellow sticker. This is probably the most common card back of the 20 backs. We called this, the next one, the letter up would be E. So this has rounded corners, so we say E1. But this is, referred to as a G, or 20G for the longest time, and it still is probably by most people. But in the Kellerman version 2, we're trying to propose that in order to properly describe the pictures that are, or the stickers that are placed on the back, that you change the nomenclature a little bit. And I think when you look at this sort of new naming system as a whole, it actually makes more sense, and it allows you to classify all the variants that are out there. So anyway, so this is the again, rounded corner yellow sticker with the text. Now, the interesting thing about this one is that there are two font types that are on this yellow sticker. So we have like a bold font type, and then we also have a more thin font type. And so I will... Let's see. All right. So anyways, sorry about the delay there. I'm trying to have all these organized. I have probably like 35 different variants. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but we'll go over the majority of them. Anyway, so there was the yellow, and of course the yellow was applied to what you would thought would be the 20C backs, meaning the ones without stickers. However, there were some where they were placed over the black stickers that had already been put on there. So this is an example. You can see the edges of it. So there is a black dark sticker underneath the yellow rounded sticker. Okay, and so again, when you have these, this would be essentially an E1 D2 or D2 E1, however you want to put the letters in order. But they place the yellow stickers over the black stickers. Now there's multiple variants of this. As you can imagine, you can even have a rounded over rounded. You can have square cornered over square corners, blah, blah, blah. There's several different kinds that are potential, although very extraordinarily rare for the most part. This was by far the most common variation of the two sticker. And then there's this along with the extension stickers, which we'll go over in just a second. Okay. And then, as I said, just like the black stickers, there was the rounded corners and the sharp corners. You have the rounded yellow sticker, and guess what? There's a sharp corner yellow sticker. It also has the same text that the original yellow sticker had, and so these were started to be placed. Okay, so now the evolution is the black stickers, then there was a short run of yellow over black, and then of course you had a lot of yellow stickers. As I said, the most common was the rounded yellow sticker over the picture of the rocket firing mechanism. Well, you know, they had either produced a bunch of Boba Fett figures, or they were not getting the initial response to the mail-in offer, which what it sounds like is that the response was overwhelming, and so they actually ended up producing a lot of them. So they had to, or they basically extended the offer, and so they had to put extension stickers on the backs of the cards to say that, hey, you know, we still have more available. Let's try this out. So now the extension stickers start to come in, and there are 3 different extension stickers for the 20 backs. Let's see. This is just an example of a red small circle over the black sharp corners. These were very uncommon, just because most of the time, at some point, a yellow sticker was placed on top of it. But the small red sticker, and then you have the actual large red sticker. Again, this is over a sharp black corner sticker. And then lastly, you have the red rectangle sticker. Now, you can see that the date, this one is for 12/31, and for both the circles, it's 3/31 of the next year, 1980. Okay, and so you can imagine now you have 2 black, 2 yellow, 3 red, and all the combinations that you can make of that. You even go so far as being able to have the rectangle over the circles. And so that adds another set of combinations you can have. And then, as I said before, the font difference that you can have, and that adds, you know, so it goes on and on and on and on. So there's, you know, greater than 60 combinations that you can have. You know, the majority of them are either not, you know, let's say ultra rare or never found or something like that. But it's kind of fun to hunt all these weird variations. So that kind of gives you, you know, a basic idea of the variations. Now, the last one before this is probably the last of the last of the last. You know, these probably came out, you know, at the very end, mainly because it's a sharp corner yellow, it's a rectangular red. And so the most common rectangular combination that you'll have is this. And in fact, the Jawa and the Stormtrooper are probably, well, also the Tusken Raider, are the most common figures that have these, this combination basically. And it's the red rectangle with the rectangle yellow. This was once designated as, I think, an H. Now we're using the different designators for the extension stickers. So this would be ER1 because it's a rectangle. The circles are EC1 and EC2 for the small and the large. And then, of course, in combination with the yellow, this would be an E2 because it's the square corners. So anyways, so as you can see, there are a jillion combinations that you can have, which is very interesting. Makes for, let's say, a fun set of hunts that you can do. Now, the other interesting combination is something like this, which is actually a C-back with an extension sticker. Now, these are very, very uncommon. Don't see these very often at all. But as you can imagine, if you know one of these C-backs was in the corner of the stock room or you know on the shelf or something, and they were told to add all these extension stickers, well, here you go. So that's a very, very uncommon card back. Now, the other interesting thing is that the U.S., of course, was not the only country to have the Fett offer backs. The most common is the Canadian. Now, not all, so only 7 of the 8 Canadian figures with Fett offers were made. It was the Snaggletooth that was not made with this French free Boba Fett offer. And again, just like the U.S. releases, they went through the same combination, meaning that they had dark stickers in the beginning. And then the second sticker was a yellow sticker of the actual Fett. And I thought give me 1 second, I will get it. All right. So this is the yellow sticker that they use. They did not use text, as I assume it would be in French. But anyways, but this is the yellow sticker with the actual figure printed on it that they used instead of the black sticker once they got these produced. But again, the French-Canadian offer. Now, I have yet to find a Canadian or a Fett offer single mailer box with a Canadian address. I know there are other mailers that are out there with Canadian addresses. So if anyone has a Canadian address single Fett mailer box, let me know, because that would be great. All right, so that's kind of the quick rundown on some of the variabilities with the Fett offer 20 backs. I think the next one I'll do is actually the variants of the single mailers. We can get a little bit of education on that. All right, well, again, I hope you guys are having a good day. Stay safe. Do what's right. Always have one of these around, and have a good day. We'll see you next time.